Hey everyone, it's Justine and welcome to another video. Today is the 12 Days of Christmas, Day 2, and I'm creating this super fun advent calendar using the Spellbinders large die of the month that comes with several dies to create boxes for an advent calendar. These of course can be turned upside down to create pennants as well, or it's completely up to you how you want to use it. But they create two different style boxes. It's got the labels, it's got the numbers, everything you need to make a really fun advent calendar. Now I don't know about you, but I have a million 6x6 paper pads sitting in my stash that never get used. So I'm grabbing a paper pack that was one of my favorites from a couple years ago called Altitude by Bo Bunny. And this is retired, but I encourage you to come create with me today and just grab some of those old paper packs and see what you can do with them. I even have two of these. It's insanity how many paper packs I have. So I am going to also accent those paper packs with a couple of pieces of silver, white, or it's white silver cardstock, sort of. It's this really sparkly sort of snow-like cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to be using some vellum as well as some tonic shimmer paper that's super fun. So I'm going to start with all my die cutting. I did my die cutting off screen, so I used the Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And you can see that I was actually able to cut two pieces of paper at once. And so that makes things really quick because you need two pieces of paper to make each one of these large boxes. So I'm going to show you how to make the large boxes as well as the small boxes. And I'll show you the end result at the end of the video. And it's super fun. So it has a score line here at the bottom of the triangle. And then you're just going to fold those in the creases. So they're super easy to put together. You're just going to glue one on top of the other here. And I would recommend using a adhesive tape. I'm going to be using some Score Pal tape, and I find this easiest to use, but liquid glue will work as well, but you just have to hold it longer in place. I'm also going to be die cutting some of the silver foil paper for the sides of the box. Now I'm going to go in and reinforce all of those fold lines. They're automatically scored with the box, and there's just a couple of folds here, and they're once again just super easy to put together. So just reinforce all those fold lines on both of the pieces of cardstock. Now we're just going to go ahead and put everything all together. So you're putting a piece of score tape along the bottom of this piece here. You could take off the adhesive and remove the backing, and then you're going to layer those two long rectangles one on top of the other. It's not hard at all, they line up perfectly. And then you're going to go ahead and flip it over, and those longer tabs on each side are going to need some tape as well as the bottom. So I put some on the bottom here, and I forgot to actually glue my little pyramid here together. I'm going to call them pyramids, even though they're like triangles, ornaments, Christmas trees, whatever you want to call them. They are in a Christmas tree shape. And there is that decoration, don't forget, that goes on the front as well. So now that I have that all done, I'm going to put my strip here from the second piece in the center. And you'll just see here how it just completely lines up. So you're going to put the tab on the four longer tabs on their sides. So right here, they're the ones towards the bottom. And then you're just going to be able to remove that tape and then adhere it to the side of the Christmas tree. And then the top two pieces are going to form the lid. Now I don't have my candies bought at this point, so I'm personally not going to fold those over, but they just fold in on top and create a lid. But you could also push them down by hand so they're easy to open and they don't ruin your little pieces as well. It's just really up to you how you want it to look throughout the holiday season. I'm curious to know if any of you make advent calendars. They were really, really popular when I was living in Germany and always handmade, which was super fun. And so I really just liked that tradition and started making one every year since then. You can go ahead and secure the star, and don't forget that there is a die cut as well that you can die cut another star if you wanted to add a little bit more sparkle or maybe some glitter cardstock. So that's how you put together the very first box. Now don't forget to go ahead and decorate your box as well. So I went ahead and die cut the inside of my Christmas tree, and I also forgot that I needed to add that hollow triangle as well in order to actually cut out the decorations. And you can also use that hollow die cut as well to create a backdrop for your Christmas tree. So I die cut that using some vellum. I wanted to keep everything very pretty and elegant using vellum and silver and that absolutely stunning patterned paper that I had in my stash that was such a waste sitting there because it's so fun to play with. I'm just going to glue these one on top of the other. I'm going to use some liquid glue with this. I find because the area is so small, it's just a lot easier to use liquid glue than using the strips that I was using to hold the boxes together. So I'm just now going to go ahead and put everything together on top of the box. And I just wanted to mention as well, when you're die cutting these labels as well as these numbers, die cut all the numbers and all the labels at one time using a piece of silver and a piece of white and a piece of vellum and a piece of pattern paper. And that way you're not really worrying too much about not having enough numbers and having to go in and individually die cut. So if I were to just cut the 2, then cut the 5, then cut the label, and cut another label, it would just take forever. So what I kept doing was just throwing both labels and all the numbers into my die cutting machine at one time, and I'll save the rest of them off to the side if I have any extras at the end. So I'm just going to add this label here to the front of my box, and this one here I think is going to be the most pretty in the end, so I decided to dedicate this one to be the 25th of December for my countdown to the Christmas holidays. Now for the small dies, I'm going to go ahead and die cut this using some patterned paper. Now for these small boxes, you actually need to cut the die twice. So what I did was I ran through the 2 shapes once, and I die cut all the patterned paper. I kept it on my die cutting machine, attached to my die cutting machine, and cut out all of the 20 boxes. And then I flipped my cardstock over and did the other side of it to get the other 20 that I needed, because this is a bit time consuming as far as the die cutting process goes. I do recommend throwing on a nice Christmas movie or some sort of TV show that's enjoyable while you're doing all your die cutting. So all you need to do, once again, we already know how to put these sides together because it's the same side you used for the larger die. And then for these sides here, these are just going to be the sides of them, and they're going to create these super small boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and finish reinforcing all of these folds, and we'll put the box together. Okay, so I have gone ahead, reinforced all of those folds, grabbed some score tape, and I'm going to attach the 2 pieces of paper as well as the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this to the edge of my paper. These 2 shapes here that are going to go on the sides, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the second piece also using some score tape, and this way covers up the lines at the bottom too if you're picky, but you could do it in any order. So I could have just glued the 2 long pieces together and then added the sides. It's completely up to you, but this way I think looks a lot cleaner. And now I'm going to go ahead and exactly like I did for the large triangle die that we made for the 5, 10, 15, 25, I'm going to go ahead and add the large pieces of tape to the longer style tabs, and then I'm going to fold them up. Now the top of this one, it's completely up to you how you want it to look. So you could tuck in those top 2 tabs at the top. You could fold them so that they have a little tab sticking out. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce those 2 sides here. And then you'll see with the top of the box, when you fold down the areas and tuck in the little tabs, you can go ahead and have the 2 tops sticking out like this, or you can tuck them inside the box. Completely up to you on how you want to be able to open it. Now for my advent calendar, I went ahead and added it to just a plain piece of wood that is from a home decor shop. And you'll see that I did a Merry Christmas in some wiring there just to add as a decoration. And you can see all the boxes that I created. Now I created this by using a We Are Memory Keepers Happy Jig, or a Jig Happy, something like that. Anyway, I'll link to it below in the video description. And there is a booklet that teaches you where to put all of these pieces and what pieces to push. So you can see on the side it has the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then on the top it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll tell you, for example, like G2 is where you put one of these green pieces or these mint pieces, and 17C. And you go ahead and line them all up, and then you go ahead and you just manipulate the wire exactly like you see on the picture. There are tons of words as well that are available on Pinterest, and the wire is super easy to form. It's very flexible, and this was the first time I used it, and I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. The only tip I have is to make sure that these pegs are really secure, and you'll hear a click when they are inside the grid. If you don't hear the click, then they'll probably fall out as you're doing your wiring. And you just go along and you follow that pattern that you see on Pinterest or with the booklet that it comes with, and you can create all sorts of things. And I found that personally, if there was ever a word that I couldn't find on there, I could just look at other words and how they did the letters and just work from there. My second attempt at using this machine, I managed to spell Christmas without any issues whatsoever, even though I couldn't find that word because it's too long for the jig, so I had to do a little bit of creative movement when I did that. But a super fun tool, and it gives you such stunning embellishment results. And then you just slide it off of these pegs here, and it actually just comes off quite nicely. Now, if you would like to see a more in-depth video on how to use this machine, just let me know in the comments below. If not, that's cool too. So you can see just how fun that turned out, and it's just such a fun little look. Now I'm going to give you a little look at the end here of all of the different things that I created. So you can see here that I have the Merry and the Christmas. The Christmas is quite large, but I did love doing that. And I'm going to show you some of the other boxes that I created. So each one of these, as I said, are the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 are the kind of the special ones. They're the ones that are really large that will contain gift cards, and I did them in a variety of colors. So some of them were more purple based, some of them were a wood grain base, silver base, snowflake base. I tried to get a wide variety of colors from that paper pack, and of course when using one paper pack, they're all going to coordinate nicely together, or they usually do, and that's the case. That's what's so fun about using a paper pack, and I just used up most of that paper pack, and I am super satisfied with the results. It is quite bright in my room at the moment, so I apologize not being able to see all of the details of these boxes, but you can see how each one is just so different. The purple, the white with the writing, the stripes, the wood grain, the sort of gray twilight look that we did on the 25th box. And just keep going on and on. And I tried to create two boxes that looked the same, that were a little further away from each other in numbers. So I hope you enjoyed today's video using the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month. Don't forget that the Dies of the Month clubs are super affordable, and they are a monthly subscription that I believe you can cancel anytime, but you really get these dies at a significant discount, and if they happen to go on sale afterwards, they're quite a lot more expensive. So if you're interested in ever signing up for the Die Club, it's truly an amazing value, especially if you're just getting started on dies. So thanks so much for watching day 2, everyone. I'm doing a gift card giveaway for $25 to Spellbinders, so be sure to comment below in the video description, and I will choose a winner after the 12 Days of Christmas series is over, and I will post all the winners on my YouTube channel as well as my blog. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!